So the Strange New World series premiere was this week. I got to tell you, I have such feels. So when the Orville came out, I was told by a friend, "Oh, you got to watch this. It's amazing. It's Star Trek like you haven't seen it in a long time." And I said, "All right, cool." I started watching it, and sure enough, Seth and them they've got the vibe. It feels like next gen between camera angles, storytelling, how the music's being underscored. Everything is really, really feels like that next generation Star Trek feel. It's episodic, but you get the characters who are also evolving. So they've kind of blazed a trail that I believe now, and it sounds terrible to say, but I feel like this is helping inform sort of the current generation of Star Trek fans. And so, because for a minute in time, Orville was my Star Trek fix. And I told my wife, I said, I don't know what to expect, because I feel like this, it clicked. The minute I watched the Orville, it clicked for me. This is what I've been missing. I've been missing this style of episodic storytelling. So then I start seeing Discovery. And so Discovery for me at first was a non-starter, was a no-sell. I wasn't down for it, and we'll get back into that when I get more into my Discovery rant, if you will. But I will say that, and that's not even a rant; it's a retrospective instead of a recap, because recapping implies telling the entire story, and I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm going to live with you guys in that time frame. Anyway, so the series premiere starts for this. We were introduced to Pike in Discovery, and that really is when I was season 2 and on of Star Trek Discovery. I'm in for season 1. I'm very critical of, but because I didn't understand where they wanted to go. I don't even care if everyone's like, they had no clue where they were going to go. That's a bunch of nonsense. Look, man, I had no clue where they were going to go. You had no clue where they were going to go. And I'm not going to put words in anybody's mouth. I don't care what interviews say about anything. But seeing what they took and where it eventually went, now you get a picture that I like. So they introduced Pike, and I was immediately on board. And so, because I like how they were representing him. I liked how they represented him, number one. I had issues with Spock early on, but as we progress, I'm okay with more and more of what they're doing with him, because you know what? I'm getting a new level of story. To me, I realized they're going to finally fold in, at least it feels like, that era into something I'm used to seeing. Nothing wrong with the sets, the way they were. They were gorgeous for the time. They were extraordinarily advanced. But this is the way I heard someone say it recently. It was actually an interview. I think it might have been either Akiva Goldsman or one of the other executive producers, who said, this is Star Trek, but using today's visual language, using how we film today. And I got to agree. The sets are gorgeous. The sets, the production design from the original series exists. It's there. So I think anybody who tries to say that it's not isn't paying any attention. And that doesn't, dude, none of that means that the Star Trek you love is gone or dead or whatever. Like I said last time, like I said in the very first Trek Talk Tuesdays, my dad still has the Columbia House VHSs. I still have the original series digitally all remastered or whatever on my Amazon that I've purchased. And so again, you'll always be able to see it. It's not going anywhere. But at the same time, I really love this. I think the Enterprise is being treated faithfully. I think Pike's love of and adoration of the ship is completely on brand. I feel like they're being very respectful to what came before, and in terms of dealing with Pike in the future. And so I'm all about this show. So who else got chills when they heard Pike come on with Space, the Final Frontier?
Space, the Final Frontier.
Dude. I was such a child, because I told my wife, I said, this is the first time that we're hearing these words since The Next Generation, and some movies obviously, but I mean in this format, meaning in serialized long-form storytelling, in this format, this is the first time you're hearing this, and it's got the Enterprise, and he's like, it's ongoing mission, it's 5-year, it's just wonderful, and I'm all about it. It's to me very true to what they got going on, and this episode didn't disappoint either. This episode felt like a classic Star Trek episode, not TOS, but a Star Trek storytelling the way it's always been done in the past, which is a modular episodic story, and it wasn't rushed. I felt like you got everything you needed out of it. I was very much I enjoyed the heck out of it. And plus I got my new show, obviously, which is Mr. Know-It-All, reviewing and recapping reviews for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which you can check out in the card right up here. Should be right above my finger here. Anyway, and by all means, go check that out if you can, or if you want to. It's I enjoy the show, so if you enjoy the show, heck, if you're critical of the show, come whatever, either jump into the comments, let's talk. But I really enjoyed it, and so I really wanted to take an opportunity to sort of break down the series trailer. So the series trailer came out, and the one thing that I remember when I was watching this right after the show, so the episode finishes, and then you get into this season on Star Trek. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So the very first thing we start off with is a red alert. Captain Pike gets called to the bridge. You hear Spock, he's saying, "Captain Pike, we have a problem." And so it's like, okay, clearly I love the fact we're jumping right in. And I don't know if these are specific to actual episodes, but what I do know is that meaning the episodes are, I don't think they're in order, so to speak. I think this is mostly exactly what it seems like, which is an opportunity to sort of show off what's coming up. And so you get to see this really cool comet hitting a planet. I can't tell if that's a VFX shot or if that's actually supposed to be like a simulation, because it looks a little bit sloppy at the moment, but I'm willing to bet that's a VFX shot that's just incomplete. So then we get to see our very first shot of Uhura in a new getup. What's this going on? She's got the classic black collar, but they make it look relevant, and I'm kind of digging the look. Now she's a full on, it's the deal, and she looks amazing. And I'm like, okay, is this the evolution of that character, of the outfit, of that particular brand of outfit? I'm down. I'm here for it. It looks great. Very much. Of course, you see everybody on the ship being, the various people that are going to be on the ship. They make a couple of really good jokes about not... Lon's like, don't get stung by anybody flying off into space. You guys gotta be careful. And I was like, all right, it's fine. I get it. So you gotta have some humor in this thing. So you have this, and then you get this really cool, intense moment between number one and Pike. Clearly, he's told her what's going down, and she understands, and she's like, look, you can't let your knowledge of the future affect how you are today. So it's the same through line that he dealt with in the first episode. Again, while the episodes are episodic, what we are getting is everyone's traveling their own journey. So each character is still experiencing and learning the lessons of the previous episode, so to speak. So you're not going to get like, oh yeah, we have to deal with this particular topic, only to have it the next episode the same character's dealing with something similar. So people do evolve, and that's fine. I love that. That's very Star Trek. So then they have somebody who is apparently beginning to attack them, and you get your first look at what I think is going to end up being either a season arc of some kind, of some sort of having to deal with a through line of some. I don't know if they're going to have a season arc, but it's possible. So you get to see an enemy who looks particularly powerful. I will also say they've turned up the contrast this episode. The last episode, while glossy, was also bright. This episode, a little more dramatic lighting going on, and I'm okay with that. I think that's great. I think seeing the shadows and whatnot really helps make the environment feel real, and that's just from a TV production standpoint. And then you have Spock giving Uhura the equivalent of, I guess, was supposed to be a pep talk. And even she calls him out on it. She's like, was that supposed to be a pep talk? Because not so much. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. And so, yeah, you're like, okay. So then you get this really awesome scene that looks like something straight out of a horror movie. There are these flashes. There's blood streaks in the snow. Everyone's wearing suits. And you see La'an, who's already proved in the first episode she's very prescient when it comes to stuff. She knows how to put the math together. And that's... So there's a... Fiction sometimes will take real life trauma and try to make it a superpower. And so one of the things that I've seen popularly done in the past is people who deal with abuse at home learn to visualize trouble and can begin to assess it very quickly. La'an is definitely someone who's had to deal with some trauma. Her family was captured by the Gorn. The very first time that we encounter the Gorn has been encountered at this level, she had to watch as her family was either eaten, fed on alive, or turned into breeding sacks, which sounds even disgusting on and of itself. But I'm a firm believer, so we're going to do some predictions and speculating. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. I think we're going to get the Gorn. That's right. I think this season we're going to get the Gorn. I think we're going to see the Gorn in a light we've never seen them before, and I am down. Show me modernized Gorn, but like if you can still somehow be faithful to this, okay? Yet still do your own take on it, I'm down. If we could see them, and even if they make it so that they don't necessarily like move their mouths with that slithering talking, I'm down. But I'm here for it because I feel like that may end up being a major villain this season, or a major point of contention this season. That I'm excited to see what they do with. And then you get a series of really cool, where, Pike's voiceover, we're going to seek out the unknown. And you get to see, aliens and spaceships. And you see Pike as two blade things come up. And you get to see people dealing with stuff. You get to understand there's going to be an awful lot of self-reflection and character building in this. And I'm really enjoying that. You see this really cool clash that looks very Amok time, I'm just saying. You also kind of get to see perhaps a relationship or two, even if it's just a relationship in terms of how they interact together. I'm very much here for. So you get to see Chapel and Spock have a moment. Spock and Uhura have a moment. A lot of Spock moments with people, but whatever. But yeah, it's exciting. You see this really dope moment where you get to see Uhura in what I'm assuming is her cadet uniform. It is very cool. Or some sort of it's very cool. I like it. I'm hoping it's like a dinner scene with her family or something. But yeah, it's a cool outfit. And she gets to wear the neatest outfits this promo. And then they end in a really great flash thing. It's like Pike's like, let's get to work. I love his Pike. Anson Mount can do no wrong in my eyes right now. Not a bit of wrong. The man's doing amazing work as Pike. Overall, I'm really just excited to death about everything happening in the series right now. I think we're doing a really good job of setting up and setting the tone of Star Trek moving forward. And again, you have to remember, every single Star Trek is someone's first Star Trek. For somebody, this will be the first captain of the Enterprise. Will be Chris Pike. Let's go. I'm down, man. Show me what's up. I'm totally here for it. Loved the misdirect of Kirk last week, but yeah, man, it's one of those things where I'm really excited for the ultimate end of all of this and sort of where it's going. But yeah, man, I think that we can all continue to enjoy the show, enjoy what it's putting out there, but at the same time, again, I want to reinforce, none of this changes what's come before. Okay? So, yeah, I would love, dude, comment below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Strange New Worlds and sort of get your take on it. Again, my review, you can find my review right up here, but I'd love to once more kind of get your feels and thoughts on what that type of show looks like. And where you'd like to see it go. Because I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm excited for them. Give me new stuff. Give me new stuff that we never saw before, because there's nothing wrong with that. The other criticism that I've been hearing is the characterizations, how everybody's being characterized. These are all young, new people. This is a new Chapel. This is a new Spock. This is a new Uhura. New as in themselves, they are young and they are new to this. So you really can't judge the character they will be in TOS by the character they are right now in Strange New Worlds. This is the beginning of those journeys. Everyone learns something and to grow to become the characters you eventually know. Spock will eventually become like the character we know Spock to be. Same thing with all the rest. I'm really looking forward to things I'm looking forward to in this season before we move on to Discovery. I'm looking forward to seeing the transition. I believe you take Pike through 3 seasons. Maybe some more. But I think you eventually either pass off Strange New Worlds to James T. Kirk, who we're getting in season 2. I do not know in what capacity, but I would love to see him either captain the Farragut or something along those lines, and then ultimately something happens, and either Pike steps aside, steps away, whatever. Something happens, and I think they're going to tease us. They're going to tease us. They're going to have somehow Pike, similar to what he did in Discovery, he's going to either go on a mission, do a thing, and they're going to lend the Enterprise to James Kirk. And James Kirk's, and somehow you're going to get, whether it's a 2-parter or a 1 episode or something, but you're going to get somewhere where he's like, yeah, I could see myself coming back here. Or something clever like that. They're going to do something clever like that because that's what Star Trek does. So, yeah. But again, comment below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts on Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and where it's coming and where it's going.